Hi, welcome to ACCQ Continuing Professional Education. We're going to talk about strategic cost management in this session. So, medyo magdi-deviate muna tayo sa dati natin mga topics about financial accounting and ngayon mas magiging strategic tayo. So, in a little while. We're setting rule one that why is one brand of, let's say, a coffee like Starbucks better than others? Or bakit yung mga consumers mas pinipili yung Starbucks kaysa sa ibang mga cafe dyan? Pare-pareho lang naman sila, may frappuccino, cappuccino, at kung ano-ano pa mga chino na yan. No? So, ano ba yung kaibahan ng Starbucks? Bakit mas maraming nagpupunta o mas maraming consumers sila? Ano ba yung dahilan doon? Well, it means that this may lead to a strategic decision, such as it may also mean that Starbucks has differentiated itself from the competition. Kumbaga yun yung naging competitive advantage sila, na kahit mahal yung kanilang produkto, meron silang tina-target na mga specific customers. They did not hindi sila na gano'n nag-compromise dun sa quality nila, na kahit na may makikita ka dyan ng mga Starbucks na hindi masyadong tinatao, pero nandyan pa rin sila, because it is also one of the strategy nung nagdala dito ng Starbucks. It was owned by Rustan's franchise. They franchised that from the US. And isa sa mga yung strategy dyan was to build Starbucks all over the Philippines, na kahit hindi masyadong tinatao, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yan, kasi because they wanted to have yung niche na yon, and yung yung brand na yon, na when you go to a Starbucks coffee, it's yung experience of drinking that particular product na in-order mo sa kanila, na kahit mahal, you still go there. It's worth it. There's something na meron sila na they can command a higher price. Ngayon, excluding the pandemic, of course, malakas ang Starbucks. Pero, well, alam naman natin ngayon na halos lahat ng industry na apektuhan dito sa pandemya na to. No? Pero makita natin na merong strategy yung Starbucks, and it has differentiated itself, na it gave them a competitive advantage. So whether this is a good strategy or not depends on its profitability. Cost management plays a vital role in strategic decision making dito sa Starbucks na to. So they have created a niche. So pagka narinig mo yung word na Starbucks, alam mo medyo social yung coffee na yun. And you will not complain about the price, no? Most of the time they have accepted it kasi that is Starbucks itself, no? Otherwise it would not be anywhere here dito sa mga kung saan lugar. Now, of course, we know that it's pandemic, kaya may mga stores, hindi lang Starbucks, other stores also have closed their operations in that particular place, no, because of the global pandemic. Now, cost information is critical in formulating and choosing strategies, as well as in evaluating the continued viability of existing strategic positions. So, natural, kailangan yan, kasi kumbaga, in order to continue dun sa negosyo, kailangan ma-maintain mo yung you have control over the prices, yung cost. So meron kang you can streamline yung cost na yon para makapag-operate ka. So maraming companies na they have also chosen other strategies like cost leadership aside from differentiation. So we're going to talk about some of these So corporations engage in decision making that affect their long-term competitive and profitability. So kinakailangan hindi lang puro sales o revenue. Puro kailangan alagaan din yung mga or i-maintain lang yung control dun sa costs. Kasi kahit na gaano kalaki yung revenues, kung hindi mo naman kayang i-controlin yung cost mo because you are unaware, then baliwala rin. It would not be a profitable venture. Strategic planning and decision making require much broader set of information than provided by product costs. So cost information about customers, suppliers, and different product designs is also needed to support strategic management objectives. Ito yung mga information gathering. So nandito yung mga kumbaga yung mga intelligence, no? In some companies nag-hire pa sila ng kumbaga yung mga corporate espionage para ispayan yung another corporation. So kailangan yon. So maraming magagaling dyan, especially now in this age of information. So yung mga habits nung customers, yung kanilang lifestyle, so it's online actually. So makikita mo, ikaw mismo papadalan ka ng mga commercials na nakikita nila na maaaring you're inclined to buy or to patronize. And decision making that affects the long-term competitive position must explicitly consider the strategic elements of a decision. So ito yung nangyari sa Starbucks. So they're just not only concerned dun sa day-to-day operations nila, but also yung long-term. Like my example a while ago, they have envisioned na magkaroon ng maraming Starbucks dito sa Philippines. About decades ago, more than a decade ago. So, konti pa lang yun. So, hanggang sa dumami. Even back then, kahit wala masyadong mga taong nagpupunta doon because mahal yung coffee nila, nandun pa rin siya because that is part of the long-term strategy to have that brand and to have a certain niche. Na pagka narinig natin yung word na Starbucks, you know that na hindi ka ganun magko-complain dun sa halaga ng kape kasi bukod sa meron siyang distinct na taste, it is also the experience that you get, no? Of course, this is before the pandemic. And the key to achieving this goal is to gain its competitive advantage. Yan. So, strategic cost management is the use of cost data to develop and identify superior strategies that will produce sustainable competitive advantage. And the competitive advantage is creating better customer value or the same or lower cost than offered by the competitors, or creating equivalent value for kaya lang you're lowering it than by offered by the customers. Yun yung ganun yung naging strategy dito sa Walmart, no? They have the same the same rin yung goods na pwedeng makita sa ibang stores sa US, like for example sa Costco or sa Kmart, no? Like they can buy yung mga rin doon, yung mga shoes or yung mga other items, pero mas mura pa rin sa Walmart because of that particular strategy. And some they can even better yung kanilang produkto kaysa dun sa mga ibang nag-o-offer ng products na yon. And probably they can at least kumbaga pwede pa rin nila tapatan yung presyo. And customer value is the difference between what a customer receives or customer realization and what the customer gives up or customer sacrifice. So pareho lang ito ng yung sa accounting, yung value received and value given. Dito naman sa strategic cost management, in order to for your customer na parang mas na-realize niya, no, kailangan ma-exceed yung hangga't maaari ma-exceed yung kanyang expectation. So customer realization includes basic and special product features, service quality, instruction for use, reputation, brand name, and any other factors deemed important by customers. So maraming mga service type of business, maraming produkto. Now, in order to thrive even in this global pandemic, no, customers are more they scrutinize kung ano yung matatanggap nila, because they want to get the best out of their money, yung money's worth nila. So, this is one of the strategies and one of the key areas dito sa strategic cost management in order to have yung competitive advantage na yon. So we must also have this yung bang cost control or cost management. Increasing customer value to achieve a competitive advantage is tied closely to judicious strategy selection. So there are 3 general strategies that have been identified. Number 1 is cost leadership. Number 2 is product differentiation. And the last one is focusing. Now, yung cost leadership, the objective of cost leadership strategy is to provide the same or better value to customers at a lower cost than that offered by the competitors. So example dito is yung Walmart sa US. Now itong Walmart na to was founded by Sam Walton. So ang strategy nito is to gumawa sila ng mga produkto na abot kaya ng masa sa Amerika. So low cost yung kanilang mga goods doon, yung mga mabibili mo doon. So hindi naman siya differentiated, no, kasi makikita mo rin yung mga yung mga goods niya sa ibang stores, pero sobrang baba yung kanyang mga goods. Yung mga tsinelas, yung mga bibili ka ng mga sandals or mga t-shirt, o yung mga kung ano pa yung mga goods na pwede natin bilhin na murang-mura. Bakit? Because Walmart nagtayo sila they established a logistics center that serve yung Walmart stores around the suburban area sa US. That's why instead na kukuha pa sila sa outside supplier na papatungan lang yung cost, and in turn, syempre papatungan nila, tataas yung selling price nila, they would be out of the market. So what they did was having that particular strategy. So nandun na yung logistics center, bumaba yung kanilang cost because sila na rin nagmamanufacture. And mas mura kasi mas mabilis yung dating ng goods nila. So kumbaga just in time, kung kinakailangan ng suburban store ng mga goods, nandun kaagad, no? Kasi it operates within the 200 mile radius within the dun sa suburban area. So they were able to lower down its selling price. And in turn, nagpo-profit sila kasi mababa lang yung cost na yon. The next one is differentiation. So, this strives to increase customer value by increasing what the customer receives o yung tinatawag na customer realization. So, a competitive advantage is created by providing something customer that is not provided by competitors. So, kumbaga, parang meron silang yung bang kakaiba na hindi mo makikita sa iba. A good example of this I might say is yung SIPAR, yung review school na SIPAR. Because yung SIPAR, yung kanilang niche o yung kanilang service, kumbaga comprehensive yung kanilang yung mga subjects nila doon. May pagkamabilisan, no? Pero yung maaring itanong sa CPA board i-discuss doon. So medyo mabilis yung ano nila, yung kanilang pacing, pero they make sure that as much as possible maituturo nila lahat. Now, this is not this may not be true to other review schools. No, hindi sa bias ako sa CPAR, no, kasi doon ako nag-review sa CPA board exam, no. But I like the review center there. No? So medyo and so sa ibang review center, no, mas deliberate naman. So iba rin yung kanilang differentiation. Yung kanilang differentiation is yung bang zero base, kumbaga umpisa nila sa una, basic, sobrang basic. So merong sa tingin natin parang generic yung service na pino-provide nila, pero merong differentiation doon. Another thing is I may suggest ngayong pandemic, no. Kung nakakaisip tayo ng mga negosyo na kakaiba na hindi pa masyadong kalat or hindi pa ganun kalaganap, no. Yung tayo mga accountants, yung online accounting, no. So pwedeng instead na yung bang traditional na accounting, pwedeng mag-send na lang yung customer, no, o yung kliyente, tapos gagawin na lang natin dun sa online na lang, no. So ilalagay dun sa website. So those things can be differentiated, no. And the last one, yung focusing. So a focusing strategy is selecting or emphasizing a market segment in which to compete. So yung battle cry dito is you cannot be all things to all men. Hindi mo pwedeng i-serve kung sino-sino na lang, kasi there are different tastes ng mga tao. Even sa YouTube, no, hindi mo pwedeng i-serve lahat, no, kasi there's only a market niche for you or a market segment. And the last one is this is strategic positioning. This is strategic positioning is the process of selecting an optimal mix of the three general strategic approaches. So wala namang yung ibang companies hindi lang naman sa isa nagfo-focus na strategy, let's say cost leadership or differentiation lang. Merong iba, they have yung bang kino-combine nila yung strategy. A good example that I can think of is yung sa McDonald's. Kasi sa McDonald's, no, they have this yung bang may differentiation rin sila and focusing. I remember when I was in the States before, so many years ago, meron silang doon sa store sa party sa may LA na nagsuserve sila ng pizza. Masarap yung pizza nila. So dito sa Philippines wala nun. So meron dito naman yung chicken. No, kasi alam nila yung mga Pinoy mahilig sa chicken, sa may kanin. So meron silang doon, kumbaga they focus doon sa particular market segment na yon. At the same time, meron rin silang may differentiation rin sila. In another example, yung sa focusing, yung mga mabalik tayo dun sa focusing, yung mga convenience stores, yung makita natin dito sa mga yung pagka lumabas ka, let's say sa Mighty Mart, sa mga express lane na yan, yung hindi sila nakipag-compete sa malalaki, like for example yung sa Pure Gold, no, kasi nandun sila mismo sa malapit sa lugar mo. So this is the thing that yung strategy nila, they focus, they look for market segments. Now, choosing the market and customer segments the business units intends to serve, identifying critical internal business processes that the unit must excel as to deliver the value propositions to customers in the targeted market segments, and selecting the individual and organizational capabilities required for the internal customer and financial objectives. So, ang pinakamahalaga doon, of course, yung value proposition. Ano ba yung value na maibibigay mo doon sa customer? So, in choosing the market and customer segments is actually focusing And delivering the value proposition is choosing to increase customer realization and or decrease sacrifice, and therefore entails cost leadership and or differentiation strategies. So the objective of strategic cost management is to reduce costs while simultaneously strengthening the strategic position. And so, baliwala yung profits o yung revenue na kinikita kung kakainin lang ng mga cost of goods sold and yung operating expenses. So this is where strategic cost management comes in. Now let's talk about value chain framework, linkages, and activities. So, successful pursuit of a sound strategic position mandates an understanding of the industrial value chain. So, industrial value chain is the linked set of value creating activities from basic raw materials to the disposal of finished goods by end customers. So yung example natin kanina about yung sa Walmart, no? They have incorporated yung dun sa nila, or they have integrated yung supply chain nila, no? Yung kanilang logistics center where it serves yung mga stores, no? Walmart stores around dun sa dun sa suburban area. So within the 250-mile radius. So you can see that dito sa dalawa, merong yung before integration and after integration. Now, before integration, yung let's assume that yung example natin is yung t-shirt is selling price is $10, is selling at $10. Now, 60% of that goes to the supplier, which means $6 mapupunta dun sa supplier. And only 40% goes to the retailer kay Walmart, which is $4. Now, after integration, after they have integrated yung logistics center na yon, which also integrated yung supply chain from the factory dun sa logistics center up to the stores, na na-reduce nila, na-streamline nila yung mga costs doon. So, the suppliers cannot be able to demand yung commanding price nila because the bargaining power of Walmart has increased because meron na siya sarili niya yung bang mismong nagma-manufacture ng mga goods niya. So what happened then was, assuming yung selling price is still $10, so 20% of that mapupunta na lang dun sa cost of goods sold, which is minimal na lang, and 80% goes to the retailer, or in dollars, $2 lang mapupunta dun sa cost of goods sold, and $8 yung dun sa retailer. Now, that would be a $4 savings from dating $6, ngayon $2 na lang yung cost of goods sold. So imagine what that can do to Walmart, no, if it continues, no, yung economies of scale, kasi maramihan yan. So it would save a lot and it would earn them profit, and they could even reduce their selling price. So as we can see in this illustration, the value chain analysis, this is identifying and exploiting internal and external linkages with the objective of strengthening a firm's strategic position. The exploitation of linkages relies on analyzing how cost and other non-financial factors, various different bundles of activities are considered. So, example here are organizations change their structures and processes as needed to meet new challenges, to take advantage of new opportunities. So even in this pandemic, no, so maraming mga industries na nag-a-adjust, no, that change their processes. An example of that yung sa schools, sa education. Maraming schools or education system na hindi handa rito sa pandemyang ito. So the schools are yung sanay dun sa face to face. Pero nung nagkaroon ng pandemya, so walang magawa, no? It's either you adjust dun sa new normal or you get may iwan. So ito yung these are things that mostly beyond our control. So maraming mga educational systems, no? Even schools and universities na nagkaroon na ng infrastructure, no? So nag-establish na ng infrastructure for yung distant learning. So let's look at the internal value chain here. So exploiting internal linkages. Sound strategic cost management mandates the consideration of that portion of the value chain in which a firm participates, which are called internal value chain. This reviews the internal value chain activities for an organization. So activities before and after production must be identified and their linkages recognized and exploited. Exploiting internal linkages means the relationships between activities and assessed and used to reduce cost and increase value. So parang ganito yung example natin kanina about kay Walmart, yung sa kanyang yung logistics center niya. So from the design to the develop stage, and then produce, market, distribute, and then service, and then it goes yung cycle na yun. So this is the internal value chain. So thus knowing the cost drivers of activities is crucial for understanding and exploiting linkages. Kung ano yung mga cost na nagda-drive doon sa mga activities na yon. So if design engineers know that the number of parts is a cost driver for various production activities such as material usage, direct labor usage, assembly, inspection, materials handling, and purchasing are examples of activities where costs could be affected by the number of parts. So let's have an example here about the how and why of exploiting internal linkages to reduce cost and increase value. So the information: a firm currently produces a high-tech medical product with 20 parts. Design engineering has produced a new configuration for the product that requires only 8 parts. Current activity capacity and demand. So 20-part configuration and expected activity demand. So this is 8-part configuration are provided as follows. So meron tayo dyan makikita ng mga activities dun sa kanyang internal linkages. So material usage, assembling parts, and purchasing. Tapos yung activity driver. Okay, yung nagde-drive dun sa mga activities na yon, no? Yung number of parts. So para dun sa material usage, direct labor hours naman para dun sa assembling parts. And yung para naman dun sa purchasing part, yung number of orders, kung ano yung dami ng orders. Of course, yun rin yung sa naapektuhan yung purchasing doon, yung purchasing parts. And then yung activity capacity nito para doon sa material usage is 200,000, assembling parts is 10,000, and some purchasing parts is 15,000. Okay, and then yung current activity demand, that's 200,000 for material usage, and for assembling parts is 10,000, and purchasing parts is 12,500, while the expected activity demand is 80,000 para dun sa materials usage. So ang laki ng variance niya dun sa dun ng expected dun sa current, and dun sa assembling parts is 5,000, and dun sa purchasing parts is 6,500. So additionally, the following activity costs are provided. So materials usage, that's $3 per part used, so no fixed activity. And dun sa assembling part, that's $12 per direct labor hour, so no fixed activity cost. Tapos yung purchasing parts, ito yung sa 3 salaried clerks earning each earning a $30,000 annual salary. Each clerk is capable of processing. Laki ng ano nila, ng sahod ng clerk. Each clerk is capable of processing 5,000 purchase orders. Variable activity cost, that's 50 cents per purchase order processed for forms, postage, etc. So, required here is calculate the cost reduction produced by the new design. That's number one. That's the first requirement. And number two is suppose that 10,000 units are being produced and sold for $400 per unit, and that the price per unit will be reduced by the per unit savings. What is the new price for the 8-part configured product? And the last requirement is what if the expected activity demand for purchase orders was 4,500? How would this affect the answers to requirements number 1 and 2? So let's take up the solution para dito sa dun sa foregoing problem na binasa natin kanina. So let's take up yung requirement number 1. So yung kung paano raw magkano raw matitipid using yung 8 configuration. So let's look at the activities. So material usage cost reduction. So yung current activity is 200,000 para dun sa 20 configuration, and yung sa proposed, yung expected doon is 80,000. So yung difference nun i-multiply dun sa $3 dun sa cost ng materials. So this would be $360,000. And dun naman sa labor usage cost reduction, so just subtract 5,000, which is the expected from the yung 10,000 na current activity. So the difference there is 5,000 times 12, so that's $60,000. And dun sa purchasing cost reduction, so we have here a notation, yung 30,000 raw na yan na salaried worker. So makakatipid sila ng isang salaried worker kasi tatlo yun, so yung isa mawawala. So, in other words, matitipid nila itong $30,000 na to. So, i-add siya dito sa difference itong 12,500 na current activity less yung sa yung proposed doon sa 8 configuration, which is 6,500 for the purchasing cost. And then, so that's 6,000. So, multiply that by 0.50 or 50 cents. So that would be 3,000, so plus 30,000. So 33,000 yung matitipid niya. So for a total savings of $453,000. And then the next one is yung new price, yung selling price. So from $400, as we saw a while ago, yung kung magkano siya. So magiging na lang siya. So yung 453 na nakuha natin dito, i-divide natin by 10,000. Kasi ito yung output nila. Okay, so the value here would be deducted from the selling price, yung current selling price. And then we have a new selling price of 354.70. So mas mababa. Now, the number 3, it says there, yung number 3, what if the expected activity demand for purchase orders was 4,500. So how would this affect the answers in requirement 1 and 2? So since each purchasing agent can process only 5,000 orders, so one agent is needed. So saving an additional 30,000, so matatanggal yung isa. So makakatipid sila ng 30,000 kasi tatlo yun. So tatanggalin yung isa of salaried cost. Variable purchasing cost would also drop an additional $1,000. So yung 6,500 na activity, okay, less yung expected na 4,500. This is a given dun sa number 3 requirement. And then multiply this by 0.5, so that would be 1,000. So that's the total savings would increase by 31,000. Yung 30,000 na dun sa salaried worker na tinanggal because mas makakatipid na sila, and dun sa 1,000 dito sa variable purchasing cost. And the new selling price or the new price would decrease by an additional 3.10. So 31,000. Yun nakuha natin dito. Divided by 10,000. Yung total output. So that would become 351.6 from 354.70. Yun na compute natin dito sa second requirement. Less yung 3.10. Dun sa requirement number 3. So, this is the strategic cost management. So, if you have any questions, just or any comments, just you can comment there. And if you have any suggestions for another topic, such as in strategic cost management and even in financial accounting, so just give me a comment there. So, subscribe. God bless and keep safe.